an end to all this once and for all. Except when I took a shot, he got spooked and he fetched the baby up and run into the woods, lickety-split, and I ain't seen neither of them since. Oh, yes, sir, good news. Where was I, John? Specked up and lost my train of thought. Good news is I found some timber off an old abandoned church, and I sent set to fixing the roof. No, I mean Jane, she just left. John, she told me I must think she looks good when she cries. I made her do it so much. Made, not make. I don't know, John. Don't know about any of it. Like she's beyond any power I have to make her feel anything again. I don't know where it comes from. People leave. That's what they do. Women leave, people leave, drinks leave, and the people holding the drinks leave. Money leaves, and the people spending the money leave. Toothbrushes leave, and the teeth being brushed leave. Necklaces leave, and the necks wearing the necklaces leave. Beds leave, and the people sleeping in the beds leave. Cars leave, and the people driving the car leaves. You leave, and time moves through rooms, erasing everything with it. I don't know. Fuck it. Do you? Do you, John? This next story is a funny little story that my cousin told me. He got a picture of a 13-year-old kid, and he gets laid for the first time. So I tried to write down as much of it as I could, and I made up the rest. Right. This one's called Under the Bridge. He's speaking to some Kenny Rogers-looking man. Remember that time you fucked that big fat girl, and I kept on about why you did it? I said, I'll probably do worse one day, and you said, don't worry, you will. Well, I did. This sure as shit happened to old Austin here. See, I was talking to this girl online. I won't tell you her name in case you might look her up. She sent me this picture, and I was thinking, hell, maybe she's sort of pretty, but she was sitting way back in the picture, so you couldn't tell too much one way or the other. She was older than me. You know me, always did like older women. She'd come down from Indiana on spring break. She was staying with her cousin Lydia down the road, and I was already drunker than hell off the vodka with Rod and them, and it sure is strong, but I can hold it to be short and skinny. And she said, why don't we meet? This is a few weeks after Granddaddy died and all. Anyway, I pushed the dirt bike down that damn slope through the woods, and then I went past Mom's house. It was funny, I didn't want her to see me, and I fell over with the bike a time or two and skinned my shitting knee. But when I got to the trail running by the creek, I opened the bike up to about 40 going over all them rocks. I saw her a ways off coming off the trail, and I couldn't tell nothing about her except she kept getting bigger the closer I got. And I thought, hell. And I called out to her by that little bridge running over White's Creek. She looked like a pear-shaped princess under all that makeup, but everything looked like it was in the right place. I'll just say this. I kept taking pulls at that vodka and leave it at that. She said, why don't we sit down up under the bridge? And there we was, sitting down in the underpass in the dirt between the water and the embankment. She started running her hand up and down my arm and telling me she was lonesome and people shouldn't be lonesome away from home. And was I lonesome? And I couldn't think of nothing to say, but I said, I don't know, but lonesome ain't the word for what I am. And she said they both amount to the same thing. I don't know. I get a lot more horny than I do lonesome. Maybe 3 or 4 times a day I get lonesome when I go into Granddaddy's garage with the smell of the oil and grease, and it's how all his tools are laid out along the walls, and in the tool chest the way he had everything set in order by the job they did and the standard and the metrics set apart, and that one Allen wrench sitting there with the 3/8 and 1/2-inch sockets on the table, and he was working on something, I don't know what, and the boat all in there dry on blocks, and his little cooler with the beanie weenies and the water and the peanut butter crackers in it, and the moonshine needing distilling with that siphon still over the jug, and me and my cousin James, and Daddy took a pull of it and said, old Jess, that time it happened. And the duct tape on the seat of that old held together riding lawnmower, and I'd ask him if I could ride it, and I'd pop the clutch and give it hell, and he'd just be yelling, tear it up, son, and that don't make a lick of sense. With something else I couldn't make out because the mower would backfire and go up on 2 wheels, and him just shaking his head to beat the man. And she laid her head down, and she would have been pretty if she wasn't so big, but the vodka was helping that out, and I put my arm around her and I told her she was pretty. I didn't know what else I was supposed to say. I wasn't really looking at her, and she had a dress on, And she put my hand down there and laid back, and the next thing you know, I didn't know where I was going, but I was going somewhere. I wasn't thinking of nothing, just sort of rubbing a time or two on her titties, when I heard the cars passing by overhead, and I'd catch a glimpse or two of the way her hair was moving by her hair bow or the soles of her old Reeboks, and I heard the water lapping up and saw the dirt on her legs and yonder at the houses across the creek, and I laughed almost thinking about what if they saw us. And then I was thinking, am I doing this? And that was about it. And I hadn't looked at her pussy, and I thought, hell, I had never seen one up close. And I got to look at that pussy, and it sobered me up quick. And when she looked down at me, I could tell how her nose was too big and her eyes too small and everything in the wrong place on her face. And it made it where I just wanted to get on the hell out of there, with her looking down at me like there was something one of us ought to be saying. We'd been laying on a spray can maybe she brought with her, and I got up and tagged our initials on the embankment. I know what you're thinking. There's probably a row of initials out there by now that are hers, and one day I'll have to take little Austin Jr. out there and point mine out to him if I can find it and tell him about how me and his mommy met. It was getting dark then, and she said, why don't we go back to her house? And I got up and told her I had to get back to Mom's. But going back onto the trail, I caught sight of her through the leaves, still standing by the bridge, and she looked big as all outdoors, and I wanted to put my arms around her or something. But me needing a drink, I went on home and laid in my room, and I'm sure she made it home safe. Still, maybe she was one of them where they can look pretty good when you're drunk as hell, as long as you don't make eye contact. Wasn't a way it was going to work out when I wasn't drunk. I'm hanging out with her friend now. She has this boyfriend that calls her names in the parking lot, and here I am. I'm the guy that's cool to hang out with and be a buddy. She's a virgin, but she doesn't want to be, so I'm hoping it'll work out. I got a couple of girls around Athens, you know where my dad and Dana live now, so I hope I can hook up with one of them. I don't know. I ain't been laid in a while. Call me a player, I know. I'm just enjoying the single life. You laughing at me about these girls, or you're thinking, damn, he's got it figured out already. I always figured I'd go out in a hell of gunfire, like you always say. Never can tell. Hell, story of my life. This last one is a brief epilogue to the entire story collection itself. So each of these kind of tells a story that's related to the other stories in some way, but it can be taken individually as well. This one's called This Is Not a Suicide Note. Once they've named you, it's too late to kill you. Put on legs and learn to talk. The knee bone's connected to the life bone. Gravity was different then. When I was 5, my baby brother died. He went away with God a while. Think of death as a little boat, your brother on the boat. Stay away from the river. What there was of God was there. Can't sleep? Try TV. Everybody's got to take a whooping sometime. I'm sorry I did it. I'm sorry I'll do it again. You discovered your dick. Use it. Fly freedom. You're American. Feel entitled to everything. What you call society, I call convenience. Let the moon come down. His father's gun, his mother's house. That was my Vietnam. See what's left of the world. Narrow dreams of afternoons. Unwind the moon between the two. You don't have to lie. You don't have to tell the truth. Every guy who's ever lived with a girl has thought about living in a storage unit. There's no nice way of doing things. Get drunk and shoot at the moon. You're older than she thinks you are. Sooner or later, everyone makes their way down the bar. 10,000 days of dust have settled lightly on me in this dream. Would you rather die than remember this? The last living day? That's the S that launched 1,000 ships, and she left with a good dress on. I don't miss you as much as I want to. Everyone was comfortable all the time. Everyone's eyes will be closed one day anyway. 1,000 miles from nowhere, listening for a train. It's never too late to switch to Satan. Maybe he can do better than the other side. We're old, sad bastards with funny hair. Thank you.